All right, guys, welcome back for another episode. Today, I am really excited to talk to Tiara. She has something special for everyone out there that maybe you don't feel comfortable leaving the workforce right now, or maybe that's not your ideal to leave it, but you still have so many different skills that you're thinking about to get underneath your belt. Such as, still, as always, we're talking about becoming financially savvy, learning how to do certain things that you never imagined you could do. Well, she has a whole school that she actually designed dedicated to allowing you to meet your career goals in a sense and to really design your own career. So She Can Work is an awesome, phenomenal tool that she's going to introduce you to and tell you all about it. And you guys know I'm still working on my introduction. So as you know, her name is Tiara. I want her to introduce herself to you so you guys can get to know her awesomeness just like I have. So first off, welcome, Tiara.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Christina. I'm super excited to be here. And thank you for introducing She Can Work. I'm extremely excited about She Can Work School for Women. I will tell you a little bit about myself and then jump into it. And then also at the end of the podcast, I have a special gift for everybody who's listening. So I'm Tiara Abu. I'm the founder and CEO of She Can Work School for Women. I'm also the founder and CEO of Lead with People. We are a leadership development and leadership coaching firm. But She Can Work School for Women just launched January 6th and actually grew from my work in leadership coaching and development. So I'll quickly tell you we are a finance school, a school for personal finance for women, and where you can learn how to make more, save more, or invest more money. So we offer live courses as well as on-demand courses. We have a thriving community of women who are there to support you in our private Facebook group. We also offer several workshops and master classes, as well as an entire library of free resources, like any tool you need, budgeting tools and templates, anything you need. But what makes us most unique, I think, is our live courses, where we actually, we know that you can go and find financial courses anywhere. Christina, you could actually Google right now and find all kinds of free classes on how to buy a house. And so I think, that we are not acting like we are brand new to the market with something that is not new. There's nothing new under the, something that's new, there's nothing new under the sun. But what makes us unique is two things. One, we get it. Women actually are asking for personal connections in their financial professionals. And so our school and our live courses that we offer give women that opportunity to really connect with another woman, real live on Zoom, breathing. You can hear her story, get your questions answered. And she's here to not only teach content and share information, but she's also here to make sure you thrive in your journey. So if you're taking a course with us on, let's say, for instance, right now we're offering a life insurance course, how to both build your legacy and build wealth. Well, my instructor, Aquania, in that course is not just like, here's all the things you need to know about life insurance, but she's actually evaluating your current coverage to make sure you have enough. She's actually listening to your goals and then helping you during that class build a strong portfolio of products that help you actually cover enough of your expenses after life, but also leave a legacy for your children. But then on the other, or whoever else, but on the other side of that, what makes her unique and what makes our courses unique is she also is but you need to make money. So she's going to teach you how to actually become your own bank in that course. And it's happening within a 6-week period. So that we get it. That's one thing that makes us unique. The other thing that makes us unique is we're not just taking an education approach, we're taking a community approach. And so our goal is not to have a bunch of students who come and take courses. Our goal is to grow a phenomenal community of women who are about saving, investing, and making more money, who are going to wrap their arms around each other as a sisterhood and make sure all of us win. And so super excited about She Can Work School for Women. I did not tell you a lot of my story in that and kind of how I got there, but I definitely wanted you to know this is what we're here for. We are here to make sure women are able to make more, save more, and invest more money, because when women have money, when women have financial power, the entire world changes.
That's right. And I love how you really explained that, guys. And I think you probably heard me juice her up sometimes in the Facebook group. And this is why, because I try to make sure I surround myself with like-minded ones. And you guys know I'm very big on there's a million tools. If you learn how to use just a few, you're more successful. So this is, I love sharing the knowledge and making sure you have different perspectives from different professionals and more tools at your dispense in that sense. And saying that, how you describe how unique it is, it really truly is unique. I cannot emphasize to you guys how important it is when you're going through financial trouble. Let's say, for example, you have, I don't know, a credit card and your credit card is maxed out to 6,000. That may be a lot for you and be putting a lot of pressure on you. But when you have a community around you of someone that can tell you, look, it's okay. It don't matter how you got there. Maybe you have used that credit card to support your family. You wasn't frivolous and just spent money, but you have someone that can tell you it's okay, to walk you through the right steps to give you back that confidence, to give you that support. And at the same time, like you mentioned, that sisterhood, to wrap their arms around you to say, okay, we're linking up, we're all linking up and we got this together. So that is really unique to have so many different instructors underneath one roof, providing different services. And the fact that we all know finances touch every aspect of life. It touches, like you said, life insurance, your automobiles. If you have good support, you still have to know about finances to get around, the roof over your head, the food from the grocery store. Every little thing we have to obtain it from money. And money is just a tool. So you have the toolbox right there with all these different instructors that can kind of get out the right tool to fix the problem at the right time. And now, and guys, she didn't tell you, but I'm going to hit back on it because this was an awesome story. You, of course, right now are already still well established, but you had a very nice, comfy job in corporate America, and you were doing all the right things. What made you want to say, I really want to help the community now, and kind of hone in on the community and segue into that?
Mm-hmm. So really, I was not in corporate America. I work with corporate clients in my leadership practice, but I was actually an educator, Christina. So I started off, y'all, as a teacher. I was an assistant principal, a school principal. I founded a school in St. Louis, Missouri, Kip Victory Academy. If you're in St. Louis, and then now in Houston, I actually led schools, and so I managed all of our schools across our system. So over 60 schools across the state of Texas. I had a 6-figure salary. I'm not going to shy away from it, and was actually living my dream as an educator. It was what I went to school for. It was what I felt like was my passion and my calling from God. Like I felt like I was really walking in what my purpose was, and felt and still do feel as if education is my true calling. Um, but I had a moment where I had to wrestle with myself. And this opportunity to start the school actually came in a coaching session, predominantly with educators who are leading schools like me across the state, leading their own schools. And in those conversations, over and over, it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, what kept coming up was money. Instead of our sessions being about decision making or making sure that more kids learn how to read, um, what our conversations continued to come back to was stress and anxiety around their finances, particularly sparked by the pandemic. So it was like, do I have enough life insurance? What will we do if me or my spouse lost our jobs? I don't know if I actually have enough money in the bank if all of us got sick and me and my husband were unable to work for some period of time. It was just a lot. Things like that. They didn't even know how much medical coverage they had. And so it really got me thinking, like, none of my men clients were actually worried about their money like that. They were not coming to our sessions
You saw a
talking
big
about,
difference.
no, it was a huge difference. And even when I probed, right? Like I even asked some of my guys, like, how are you being, how is the pandemic impacting you? How are you feeling about your family? How do you feel about your financial wellness? Like I was like kind of digging.
Because
and
you're
they were
curious.
and they were fine. They were like, we're good. We're gonna make it happen. Where women were burdened, like
Yeah.
truly burdened. And so it just got me fueled up about women and their money. And some of the things that I had learned about women over time and things that I had been ingrained in me around women not being responsible with money and women are frivolous with money and women waste money. Those are just some of the things that I had grown up believing about women. And yet I was sitting in these coaching sessions with some of the most powerful women I knew and some of the most well-established women I knew, and they were also concerned. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Even though
wait
they're
a minute,
established. Yeah.
even though they were established. And so I just started to dig into the history of women and money. Like women couldn't get bank accounts until the 60s or lines of credit until the 70s without a male cosigner. And then I was like talking to women in finance and learned like there were states, at least as of last summer, there were some states in the United States where women were still required to have men cosign for
Wow.
them. And so I was like, wait a minute. What I know to be true about the way society changes. One, you have to be educated. Like education for me is truly freedom. I believe that. And so I was like, we have to educate women around their money and about the fact that, honey, you have a degree. We have more degrees. Women have more degrees than they ever had before. We have higher paying jobs. We're sitting in, junior exec and senior executive positions like myself, and still not knowing what to do with our money. What? And so I was
Yeah.
like, we have to educate women on what to do with their money. How do you make more money when you're not being paid enough or when you just have a desire to have more? How do you save more money when you don't feel secure and you know you need to create a nest egg or whatever, emergency fund, whatever it is?
Mhm.
And how do you invest more so you have something that's growing over time and you see your money continue to grow? And we got to educate women. The second thing I know to be true is that when women take action, like I said before, the world changes. It just is true that when women are called to do something, I'm not saying men out there can't take action, but somebody said that men rule the world, but that's not true. They just are right now the people in positions of power, but that's shifting and changing. And so what we need to understand is that every time we've been in moments of crisis in our country and abroad, women are the ones who step up. In a home, when it's time to get us moving forward, truly moving forward, a woman often is the person who ignites that, whether it is through her motivation and passion in support of someone, or whether it's her taking action and getting it done. And so I wanted to combine education with action and go after this. And so I had to wrestle with myself like, girl, you're about to walk away from a 6-figure job to start a venture that right now is not even in your field of expertise.
Yeah. So it's
Like,
kind of scary. Like, okay, wait a minute. I've taught and I started schools, but not
not
this type,
this.
and not for women, adults, and yeah,
No,
that's
ma'am.
scary.
This
That's
is
scary.
scary. There's no public funding that is going to support this venture. So I had to wrestle. And what I tell other people to do when you get in these moments where you have to wrestle is I had to use some of my rational side, right? Like, let me look at my finances. I'm married. So I had to have a conversation with my husband, like, hey, let's look at our finances in a way that like it's different than we have before, because we might not have this very large source of our income coming in.
Yeah.
And on the rational side of things, we had us a money date and analyzed all of our finances and made sure that this was something that was viable for us, and like calculated how long could we actually go without my salary supporting our financial goals. How do we make sure that our kids can continue to live the life that we've wanted them to live, like we've worked so hard for, and still continue to pursue this business? What are the things we need to shift around and change? How will this impact our savings? How will this impact our insurance? Like we went through every single
Money date.
detail.
You got the wine
We,
out. You got and
and
sat
we
down
went
and
on a
just
date. We went to a
yeah,
restaurant.
hash it out.
We went to a restaurant. He brought his piece of paper. This was very much like the day we got married. He brought his piece of paper where he had written down all the stuff. I brought my computer with all the spreadsheets, and we were ready to go. And we really hashed it out. I think on the other side of that, when people are wrestling, when you start to wrestle with, okay, I'm about to leave my job to start a new venture. I don't think you always have to do that. And so what I also had to ask myself is, can you actually accomplish this mission while still accomplishing the mission you feel like you were called to do, can you still do it at the same time and do it to the level that you want it to happen? Well, the answer for me was no. The job I was in was extremely demanding of my time. It was extremely demanding of my mind, my resources, all of it. And so I just couldn't do both. The other question I had to ask myself is, do I believe so much in this that I'm willing to grind for it when I'm actually a recovering grindaholic? So I actually don't believe in the grind anymore. Like, I believe in my weekends. I believe in like easing into my day now.
Yeah.
I believe in rest. And I've had to learn that and unlearn bad habits. But I knew walking away from my job meant I got to enter back into the grind. And was I really willing to do that right now for some period of time? Because this is not forever.
Exactly.
Right. And I think the last thing I had to ask myself is, Tiara, what is it that you're willing to do differently because you are about to like launch something that you never have before? And so how will you be comfortable with being uncomfortable? And will you be comfortable being uncomfortable? And I had to ask myself those questions and really like wrestle with myself. I'm a woman of God. I had to pray a lot. I had to listen, like stop and listen. And I'm going to tell you, every time I tried to take a step in another direction away from She Can Work, it didn't work out for me. It didn't work out for me. Nope. It didn't. And when I said, okay, I remember the day I was sitting in my garage and I was like, I cried all the way home. Like, I love my job. I love what I do. I worked hard for the position I was in. I mean, I was leaving a job where I was promoted. I had not done the same job for more than 2 years because I was constantly promoted. And I was like, why would I walk away from this? Yeah. This is crazy. And God told me, this is what you're doing. You're doing this. And I had to sit in my garage. By the time I got home and was like fussing, I sat in my garage that day and finally told God, okay, I'm going to listen. Okay, I'm going to do this. And I haven't felt a single burden since I made the decision. Have I had hard days? Absolutely. Heck yes. Like, yeah. Have I had worried days in my business? I mean, we're like 25 days old, but I've had days where I've been like, oh my God.
But you know what? All those days that are for, you can't have struggle and without success, No. And I love how you talked about women, how we usually are the ones that take charge, but to take action. And when you were talking about that, I was thinking about, and of course, this is not my time frame, but I was thinking about all the stories we heard from our parents and our grandparents about when there was a recession, how they had to really minimize and kind of go through it. But it's always good to know, and that's what we forget. People tell us that men run the world. No, you have a partnership. When you're married, it's a partner. We're side by side. We're stepping into this together. And then, like you said, we always can unite. Ignite a fire right underneath us. It's not a problem. We're usually the ones that actually feel that, how can I say it? Like a lightning bolt just hitting you to take action. So I appreciate how you are showing our listeners too that you and your husband, y'all sat down and you went over every step so that there was no surprises, so that he could still support you as you went through your own individual vision. And then the good days and the bad days is something now that you are pouring into your own program. So that when someone, like you said, if they did their own self-evaluation and it's not good for them to stop their work right now, so they're trying to hustle and do both, build their business and get financially savvy at the same time of taking your program and working. Well, you've been there, and some of your instructors have too. They have the know-how to get past those stumbling blocks that they may be experiencing. And so even though you were in that garage walking away like, I don't know if this is the right choice, I'm glad that you finally stopped and listened. Because a lot of times when we pray about things, we don't listen. We just want an instant action, and we forget that with patience and endurance, we have to listen to what direction we're supposed to be going into. So that is awesome.
Thank you.
The hard days paid off.
Thank you. They did pay off. It will continue to grow. I tell women, like, when they come to our school, you're coming because you have a specific financial goal. And so most of the women that are currently enrolled in our school came because they have something specific. Either they want to buy a house. We have someone who just went through a divorce. And so she's like trying to rebuild. We have people who like, I just got off the phone with someone who's like, I just have not been involved in my finances at all. I just haven't. And my husband kind of does it all. And so I need to immerse myself in just information right now. And I have women who came specifically as they want to buy a house. And they're like, I just want to learn how to like budget my money right now, get ready to buy this house and get guidance on that. So you come with most of the women come to us with a specific purpose. But what you get that women haven't had before is you get access and you get a fully open door and welcoming table. So like you ain't gotta come and like build your own table. You don't gotta come and like go to work. You have to come and get it. You don't have to deserve it. I mean, like, like fight for it. Nobody has to advocate for you to have this information. You ain't gotta go through no trials and tribulations for it.
It's
We just
there.
wanted to create access and an open door. So in our Facebook community, for example, it's called the Commons because we're a school. It's like your university commons when you go and get all the food you need and nourishment, and you also get to go to some cool events. That's what happens in our commons.
I
But in
like
the
that.
but in the commons, our instructors are there. They're like showing up, and they're not hiding themselves. So they're money coaches. They're life insurance producers. They are business strategists. They are real estate agents. There's someone who's in there developing her own budgeting app. My instructors are just so diverse. There's a woman who is really, she coaches around the trading and the stock market. She needs to build a course soon. Christina will join us and build a course for us around trading the stock market. But we just have so much diversity in the community. And so when women come to us and they get in the commons, you actually get to talk to the women that you would normally have to pay $1,000 to actually have a conversation. But
Or more.
I'm giving you access. I'm like,
Mhm.
here, just come ask the questions you need to ask. Now, will you have to, if you want to go deep, establish a relationship that may lead to you having to invest further? Yes, that will happen. And though, like what we've continued and consistently had happen to women is that you haven't even been invited into the conversation, or you didn't even know that conversation was happening as a woman. And so that's what I want to break down the barrier for. I want women to come into our community and like, no, the door is open for you. Ask whatever questions you have to ask. Tell us what kind of courses you need, and we will find somebody to build them. This is a true community of women who are like, I'm not hiding nothing from you, girlfriend.
Mhm.
This is for you, and we're building it for you. And so I'm excited about that for us, and excited about that for women, because it's just that has just not been true for us. And we also like just deeply, deeply feel like there's no like, I don't know, protocol or specific way to do this. That's what banks do. That's what
Right.
like other organizations do. We don't create protocols that way. We go, what do you need, honey? Girlfriend, sister, sis, like what do you
Yeah.
need? Okay, let's build that, because that's what is going to actually propel you forward.
And when you just mentioned that, it made me think about, you said, we're not a bank. I thought about some banks will not work with you unless you have X amount of money in the account. Then they'll share a little bit more knowledge with you and say, oh, well, we have this product that can save you some interest. We have this, we have that. And so, like you said, those conversations are sometimes the door is never open to even have the
No,
conversation. So to
I
have
can.
one spot to have it.
Yeah, I can give you an example of that right now. My bank called me and she said, "Oh, I noticed that you got X amount more in your business account. Do you want to talk about these products?" And I'm like, "Woman, I set up in your office for how many like it was like almost an hour to set up my original account with you, and you never told me this." And that's exactly what the opposite of what we're trying to do. We're trying to say,
Exactly.
let me give you everything you need up front, and then you make a choice about what you actually need.
Mhm.
But I don't get to hold and reserve information from you until you reach some status level of money or whatever that I believe is the ceiling or the bar. You tell me what you want, and then that's the entry point. And I think it's just different. And it's a good, like that is I just had a real world example of this like 2 days ago. Like I could not believe she was calling me with that. And then you know what it made me feel like? I actually don't want to bank with you now.
Right. Yeah.
Because now what else? So are you waiting for me to hit 1 million before you tell me about the
Mhm.
other stuff? Like what else is out there that I now don't know? And I shouldn't have to dig all the time when literally there's a woman sitting across from me who actually knows all
Mhm.
the information because she's the VP of this branch. and you could just give it to me. And so that's what She Can Work School for Women is about. You don't have to like go digging. You don't have to deserve it because you like now have a certain level of income or a certain level of notoriety or whatever. It's available to you if you want to invest the time and effort into actually like showing up. That's it. Just show up,
That's it.
log
Just
in.
show up.
And
Yeah,
you
just
get it.
show up.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. And not only that, the fact that you mentioned all these different the diversity of instructors and courses available, it made me think about how much money I had to spend. And I've been in corporate America in the finance department for over 15 years, 3 master's degrees, still nothing is compared to what I've learned recently in the last 4 years. And what I mean by that is once I started really digging in to investing and trading, that's my niche, that's what I'm honing in on. I realized how much information was never told to me, how I could leverage other people's money, when I'm trading and use their $250,000 account instead of my own money. And
Mhm.
so there's so many little hidden secrets, like you said, that everything is hidden. But when you have so many different instructors and the diversity, the variety of what to learn, those barriers are so broken down very quickly.
Mhm.
And it's you become your own bank is the reason why I'm saying that. It makes me think about, and that's what I tell my students too. When you're learning how to invest and trade, now you're your own bank. Instead of, when your credit is bad and you need something real bad, you go to them, they tell you no, because you
Mhm.
don't have a certain amount in your bank, or you don't have a credit score, or whatever it may be. But once you start investing and trading and learning how to be financially savvy in general, you can leverage money like you never knew before. You can go do a couple trades and now you became your own bank. The possibilities, like you said, is endless. That individual can come to you in the school and say, well, this is what I want to hone in on. I want to make X amount this year so I can get out of debt, or whatever the case may be. And that's their entry point. So the whole concept, just the ease of your program, and just the ability to link up with like-minded ones is very unique and so well needed in today's society and
Mhm.
communities.
We talk about like how we spend our money. When you just mentioned that, it made me think about some of the things that people tell tell me for why they haven't, taken steps with their finances before. And so much of it is, well, it's going to cost me money. And I'm like, well, it costs you money to get a degree. You spend thousands and thousands of dollars on that, and it got you a job that you now spend hours and hours of time on. And you only get a certain amount. Like with my team at one of our recent team meetings, with the She Can Work team, we did earning potential because both the people on my current team still are working their full-time jobs. And so they're working for She Can Work on the side. And what we did was we did an earning potential analysis. So we actually looked at, like, I asked them to look at how much money they're currently making in their jobs that they're spending a lot of hours on, a lot. Both of
Mhm.
them take work into the weekends from both of their jobs. I said, like, how much money can you make? How much money do you make right now? And then like calculate how much money will you make next year? Because most places give a cost of living raise and a bonus.
Maybe.
Maybe, right? Most places, some places maybe. Uh, and I said, okay, now, what if you got a promotion to the next level, right? How much money would you make? If you just got promoted to the next level, so if you became your boss, all right, now think about the highest position that you would want to have in that organization. Write down the salary approximately that you would make. So they did that. But on the other side of that, what we did was we looked at our financial trajectory and our financial worksheet and our 12-year plan for She Can Work. And so what we did was we looked at, well, like with your like salary bonus, and we have a revenue share model for She Can Work. And so with our revenue share model, how much money can you make this year? How much money could you make next year? How much money could you make? And it wasn't about even being promoted. Because, in like regular
Yeah.
jobs, most jobs, when you get promoted, you have to do more work. Nope.
Mhm.
It wasn't about being promoted. Just if you just stay doing what you're doing over the next 12 years, what's your earning potential? And it actually continued to increase, 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 increase. And then they realized like, but our numbers right now, our goals and our revenue, our financial projections are set, Christina, like pretty low in terms of
Mhm.
student enrollment, because I wanted to be very conservative in our financial model. So when they did that, like the earning potential, like was far beyond what they could potentially make, right? In a job, you're capped. Like you like invested in a whole college degree. multiple for most of us.
Yeah.
Then you you like spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this, and you actually are capped in your earning potential with that career. I'm not saying don't go to college. I just talked to my child about going to college. I'm not saying that. What I am saying though is think about the investments you can make in yourself. Because for this activity we were doing, because I was talking to them about time, like, and making sure that we are moving She Can Work forward and the
Yeah.
benefits of that for the purpose of that activity. But for the purpose of your own, I think everybody should do this. If you invest in yourself, whether it is the stock market, whether it's real estate, whether it is taking a course that She Can Work or becoming a student in our community, whether it is getting a money coach, I double dog dare you, starting your own business. I double dog dare you to sit down. I double dog dare you, sit down and truly side by side do a comparison of your earning potential in your current job that you paid all that money to go to school for. And then your earning potential on the other side of it, whatever that plan is, whatever that thing is you want to do, and think about that earning potential. And then I want you to calculate the cost of entry. Because that's what I think, where I think people get tripped up. It took you, for me, I'll tell you, it took me over $200,000 to get the education that I currently have today. It cost me over $200,000. My very first financial advisor, who helped me save my first $10,000, I was trying to save money for my wedding. My first financial advisor that helped me save $10,000 in, I don't know, 6 months, it cost me $325 for that financial advisor. $200,000 I spent to get a $28,000 a year paying teaching job. And $325 I spent to get $10,000 in 6 months. What?
Real numbers. Yeah.
So when people come to me and tell me, oh my goodness, I can't pay that $59 a month for She Can Work right now, I say, interesting. So I am telling you right now that you can make more money by spending $420 a year in 1 year that you actually could spend on way more things, friends.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you to invest $420 in yourself to literally have almost unlimited earning potential. But you gave some people money, thousands and thousands of your dollars, to go to a job every day where you have a capped out earning potential and you have to work weekends. Girl, stop. Yeah. I won't have this conversation with you. It becomes a moment of accountability. So I say that to say, like, we've been taught and conditioned that college was our, like, especially as Black people, especially as Black women and people of color in general, we've been taught that college is the thing that's going to get us to the next level. So you got to go invest in that. And that's the thing. But then what we forget, and now what we're learning is, but there is a cap to that.
Right.
And you are always going to consistently be working for somebody else, making somebody else some money. And so how do you might do that. Like, I'm not saying quit your job, but also invest in yourself. Find another source of income for yourself, whether it is investing in the stock market, real estate, getting you an Airbnb, starting you a side hustle, performing a service, creating a product, whatever it is. Find that so you increase your earning potential and you diversify your earning possibilities. Because, friends, stop saying you can't afford to invest in yourself. Stop saying you can't afford the stock market. You can. Stop saying you can't afford to start that business. It costs $100, $300 to get an LLC. Stop saying you can't do it when you already invested thousands and thousands on something that actually is not going to get you to the level of financial stability that you actually want.
And it reminds me, it is, but it's true. It really is true. And I don't want to mess up the name because I'm going to give homage to the book writer, but my husband, he just finished up one of his financial readings for himself. And I'm going to mess it up. So I'm just going to give homage to the person that wrote it. But in the book, it talks about exactly how you're saying, find your entry point. It talks about, for us right now, where a lot of people are coming out, we're still in the pandemic, but a lot of people are coming out of their jobs, or they're feeling stuck in their job because of the pandemic. They feel like they don't have a way to get a new career, or, maybe just don't have one at all due to the pandemic. But in either situation, I'm liking this to how you're talking about the entry point, to calculate your entry point. A lot of things that we forget to do that he learned in a book that I can totally agree that I never did before was I never took how much my degree cost So if I took the 4 years of the total cost of my degree, how much the anticipated salary would be, if I calculated that to compare with the degree to see if it was even worth, if I was going to have it, if it was a solid investment. If you pay, like you said, for me, it was like $145,000 for education. Will you, is it a good investment once you spend that much money in your education to come out and make way more? If not, then that's telling you to find another career that dollars make sense in a case. And that being said, now, if you are like me, and that's what I did, I had to change my trajectory. So it's not that you can't afford it now. Okay, you now know I need to find something, my entry point, like you're saying, that will give me a better return on my investment. So guys, that's what we're saying. You really cannot afford not to because you're going to save so much more money in the long run. It's going to only make sense. And this is a unique program that you're offering. And I tell my students for my membership as well, they learn how to do option trades, future trades, become a funded trader to trade with someone else's money, all the business savvy moves to do to increase your debt, to get out of debt and increase your credit score in a sense, and so much more. So that being said, me, you, and all of the other entrepreneurs that are trying to make a way, a path for someone to come in so easily, guys, this is totally different. I can tell you, I spent for one program $7,500. So to just learn one thing, one little niche. So to have full access to everything at one time and to slowly go and to have a cap of, how much did you say was a year for your program? 400 and what?
It's $420 a year.
For a year. Boom. So when you do the math, try to calculate now that we're talking, do what she just said for the entry point. Also think about how much you spent on your degree or all your education to see if you got the return on your investment. If you didn't, you can change your trajectory is why I'm saying all of this. You can find that path to where it will now, because remember, we went to college. It was basically teaching us how to work for someone else. But now things have changed. You can be taught how to work for yourself, which is a big difference that actually costs less. Just saying.
It's interesting, like I don't know, there's like a debate in a few of the groups I'm in about like whether people's college degrees are worth it. And I'm like, I would not say that your college degree is not worth it. I think what you said, Christina, is really important. Like doing that calculation before you invest in that college, we have to teach our kids. We have to teach our kids to do that kind of analysis first. Like, am I going to get this? If I get this degree and I pay X amount, is my earning potential such that I could pay for this degree? In my case, the answer was like no. In my case, in my husband's case, it was like, girl, like if you keep down this path, you're going to have to do something else. I may not have had to leave education like I did, but I would have had to, like I was doing, do something else in order to actually get my degree to pay back. So what I tell people too is the debate for me is not me against college. It's not that. It is not like entrepreneurship against college. The debate is actually about, and the decision point is about, will you be able to get this degree and pay it back, like pay back what you pay for it and continue earning from it? Like, is it going to profit you in the future?
Absolutely.
And if not, what else are you willing to do so that you supplement it and continue to, like, if the degree in and of itself, like the career, like teaching was not, I could, $200,000 is too much. I should never have paid $200,000 to be a teacher or a school principal.
We live and we learn.
I shouldn't have, but I did, right?
Yeah.
So in order for me to do that, I had to start a company in order to supplement that. Or what I wish I would have done earlier in my life is invested in the stock market or invested in a property. I had to do something to
Right.
get more income, generate another source of income for myself in order to make that $200,000 worth it, right? What I'll say though is the things that I learned in college helped me to start all of these businesses. That's why I'm saying like college is not a waste of your money. The ultimate, what people are telling us the ultimate purpose of college is for, that's what I'm trying to push against.
Exactly.
College is not about going to go work for somebody else. Boo, no. What college is about is teaching you, if you're going to pay for college, you need to be thinking about not just the lessons you're learning in those classrooms that lead to the degree, that lead to the job, the lessons that you're learning in that classroom and in that school community, that just contributes to your overall like success in life, which means the job, which means ability to like form lasting relationships, which means ability to network, which means ability to create and generate other forms of revenue. Because I definitely have used my intelligence and my network of people that I know from college in all of the other facets of
Yeah.
my business and to generate new income. So I'm not saying college is a waste of money. I don't want to walk away with that, because I don't want anybody being like, oh, but she's on the internet talking about her son going to college. That's not what I'm saying. I'm on the I'm on the alumni board for my college. I believe in college.
But it is important to calculate it. You have
it
to,
has to be calculated. How do you make
if
it
you
work
don't get a
for you?
return on investment, then it's not worth it.
Not.
Yeah,
And I want more people to know that. But also I want you to know that you got to continue to invest. So to your point, you pay $7,500 for a program to teach you something to continue to help you to generate business and revenue. We had to invest in ourselves, continue to do it. The $420 that people pay per year for She Can Work will not be the end of the investment. You'll actually find that, okay, now I do really need to more deeply work with a money coach. So then you're going to invest in that. But investment, you should always be getting a return on every investment you make in yourself. And that's the thing that I want to be super preachy about.
And you made me just think of another thought too, and how again, neither one of us were bashing college, but I appreciate how you guys, I'm a Bible reader, but the Bible talks about different trades, and a lot of people. One episode, I was talking to a lawyer. She's a lawyer, and she was kind of comparing her college degree to how much it costs her to become a lawyer. But if you look at a plumber, just that simple trade that he picks up, he makes like $200 an hour. Boom. So it doesn't matter what you do, but like you said, learning that return on investment, if it's worth getting in. The other thought that I want to feed into everyone, and you guys know I'm big on this, this is what I get preachy on, is what was an eye-opener for me is a lot of wealthy individuals, what they do is they start having a business early on. And so you may have your next door neighbor who's a millionaire, you don't even know, but they have a home business and their children are already enrolled in their business. So sometimes when we think entrepreneurship, we forget there's a lot of tax breaks. There's so many things that come along with having a home business in general. If you don't want to do your own, like, full out business like you and I, what we're doing, but there's still avenues that you can look at that may be something easy. My sister is so good at making candles. She can make a candle business, just sell it online. It's something that it's your hobby that you just turned into something that you love to do as a side hustle. One day, you never know, that side hustle may fuel to making yourself your own corporation. But in the meantime, it's helping you get tax benefits, have certain things for your children that you will not be eligible for because you're not an entrepreneur or business owner. So, we're just trying to give you different ways to think of things. Not everything's going to resonate with everyone. Not everything's going to work for everyone. But those are just my little food for thought, guys. Going into any of these courses, kind of think about, maybe I can do this. And it doesn't have to be a full-on business that you're working towards as you learn these skills. It could just be something small that you're doing at home, but you still get a lot of benefits to reap.
We have a course on our site, in our course catalog right now, called From Passion to Profits, where Marissa, she's the instructor for that, but she's walking you through how do you take this idea you have and actually turn it into a profitable business. And I also, like, when I was talking to someone about this course, one of the things that she said to me was, well, I don't want to have like a company. That's like not what I'm trying to do. And I was like, you don't have to. So I think that's what you just talked about, Christina, made me think about that conversation with her. She's now taking that course, but when she was like, I don't want to do this course, I don't want to have a company, I was like, you don't have to have a company. I'm talking about generating another source of revenue for yourself, another source of income. So the beauty is you get to determine this, like the scale of it. So if you want to say, if you only want to, she does cookies. If you only want to do so many specific dozens of cookies every year, every month, then just turn down orders.
Yeah. Yeah, you can block your schedule. There's so many ways to get around it. I love that.
So I just tell people, like, starting a business doesn't mean you even have to desire to have a full-blown corporation. it's all about generating more revenue for yourself. And you also don't have to start a business to generate more revenue for yourself. You can invest in the stock market, you
That's
can
right.
invest in properties, you can think about how to increase your money through like what Aquani on my site is teaching, through life insurance. You can have Airbnbs, you can sublet a part of your property. You're just so many things, so many
Oh my
things.
gosh. And I don't want
So
to get too, because I'm thinking about the pandemic. Some people have properties and they're doing nothing with. You guys can turn that whole apartment into like a co-working space and rent it out per queues. Like there's so many ideals that are now new that we never had before because of the pandemic that could
yes,
actually.
my son made money at the beginning of the pandemic. He is 12. At the beginning of the pandemic, he was 11. He was making so video gamer, like YouTubers who do video game, they like stream themselves doing video games. So in those video games, in those videos, they have like an intro little video of them like playing the video game, which I think is like crazy. But there's like a little intro video where if they shoot something, like sparks fly and all of that. So he actually has someone paying him to create these like 3-minute intro videos.
It
And
cannot get any easier than that.
no, and then he also his other idea that he came up with, he has not started it yet, but I was like, man, this is a thing. We actually started to look into it. Is he plays the trumpet, and so
Oh
he was
yeah.
like, I just want to record myself playing the trumpet. I mean, or not record myself. He wants to play the trumpet live and invite people to his concerts and
That's the
charge them.
thing.
So there's websites. So that got me looking and him looking. There's websites that are kind of like fans channels where you literally just can pay to like see somebody do their talent. I'm like, are you kidding me?
One more thing, and I gotta drop this gem for your son. He can actually, and I'll have to give you the site after I look it up. If he's playing and he's having people come as a concert in a sense, he can also record himself. And it's a certain website you can post it. And some people will actually pay to use his recording on their website. So maybe it's background music and things of that nature for podcasts. So I'm just dropping some gems, guys. That's another thing. You cannot not do anything during this time frame. And
When
and
people
just you, it's impossible.
No, when people tell me like, oh, I need more money. I'm like, stop telling me that. Cause like, let's
Create it.
go to your talents and then just create more money for yourself.
And it won't
And
happen overnight. It takes time, but you're setting yourself up now.
we have to, I think what people are afraid of, and even in leadership coaching, this is often what it is. We are afraid of ourselves. We hold ourselves back. So the thing that I tell people is like, the information is out there, the like possibilities and opportunities are out there. We hold ourselves back from those things because we don't want to do the work for whatever
Right.
reason, or we don't believe in ourselves enough. There's like all these things, but it always goes back to, when I'm coaching someone, something internal. It's either something that is a part of their mindset, something that is a barrier for them, whatever it is, it usually is inside of us. So that's what I would say to people as we're starting to come to the end of this. I know in a minute you're going to ask me that, like one of those wrap up questions. Before we
You
ask
can drop
that,
the gem now. Go ahead and drop it for them.
what I tell people though is the first thing you need to do is ask yourself why you haven't done it already. So what's actually holding you back from doing it? I'll tell you, like, one of the things that was holding me back when I first went for my first, like, I was getting promoted, but never asking for salary increases. And I had to ask myself, what's holding you back from just asking for, I was getting the salary increase, but not what I felt like I was worth and not what was fair, just right out. But I kept asking myself, what is like holding you back from asking for this? One was I didn't want to be perceived as someone who wasn't grateful. Like I just wanted to be grateful for what I perceived to be a blessing that my company was giving me. And then I asked for it, but I didn't ask for what I was worth. Then I had to ask myself, well, why didn't you ask for the full amount you thought you were worth? What's holding you back from that? And then what was holding me back from that was, well, I don't want to, I don't believe that I actually can get that. Like there was a self-belief that I had to, that was like holding back. So I had to keep asking myself that. Yeah. Another example of this is when people are like, well, if I like, ask people, what's holding you back from investing in yourself, whether it is like in a course on our site, whether it is in a membership or coaching, whatever it is, like what's holding you back from making that investment in yourself? And they go, well, I think I need to spend that money on other things. Okay, who told you that? And then it's like, but I had to spend it on my kids. Okay, then let's talk about, if you don't do this, what's the impact on your kids? So that's the second question I ask you. Like, first ask yourself, what is holding me back from this? Like, why haven't I done this already? And then ask yourself, but if I don't do this, what's the impact on that thing? So if I don't ask for that pay raise, what's the impact on the future for me in this career? If I don't invest this money in the stock market now, what's the impact for me on my goals for my future finances? If I don't actually invest in this education or this money coach or this program right now, what's the impact on my business or on my financial stability or on my children or whatever it is?
Right.
So those are the two things, Christina, that I think are really important. One, most people want to actually move forward in life, whether it's a career or like have a better job or, have a partner. Like we all want to, whatever forward movement means for you, most of us want to do that. But a lot of us aren't doing that. And so people think it is like resources, time, money. It ain't none of those things. It's you. It actually is you. So
you're in your own way.
You're in your own way. Why haven't I done this already? What's holding me back? And then ask yourself, if I don't do this, what is the impact on my future success, life, children? Just what is the impact on my future? And you fill in the blank. Because that honestly is, Christina, the thing that I don't care what we talk about with money, all the ways we could talk about making money, going to college, starting a business, whether you want to invest in the stock market or real estate or whatever. The reasons why the people who are doing it is because they decided to just do it.
Those are facts,
most of those people thought the consequences of me not doing this are not worth it.
Exactly. Yeah.
My therapist asked me to start to ask myself, she said, you don't ever think about the life you don't want enough. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, so much of my motivation is the life that you do want. So Tiara, you're always hustling for the life you do want. And she's like, but I don't think you're being intentional enough about the life you don't want. And where that came from was, she's like, you're working really hard and grinding right now for the life you want. But a thing you actually don't want is to grind.
Yep.
So how can you be intentional about getting to the life you want, but also not living a life you don't want? Now, that's too much for this episode in this one podcast, but I think that's the thing that I don't want us to leave this conversation and miss, is that this is not about tips, tricks, tactics, coaches, and all that. It's about you. It's about the decisions you made for yourself and whether you've decided to move forward and like do the thing that you say you want to do, and then not be afraid of what might happen, but be afraid of, don't be afraid of what might happen if you do it. Be afraid of what might happen if you don't do it.
And I love the fact that you're saying, and don't do what we do that sometimes. Don't do what you don't want to do now, trying to get to where you think you should be. Yes. Try to be that person now so that you can avoid both. I like that.
It's really hard, but I don't want to talk, I don't want to simplify it so much to say that it's not hard. It's hard to address your barriers. It's hard to like really push yourself if it's something that's deep seated in fear or, scarcity mindset, or like things that just are really holding you back or things you've been told. It's hard to move past it. I'm just saying, guys, like get bold and brave enough to ask to wrestle with it so that you can actually get a little further along. And then ask for help if you need it and like pursue that help so you like overcome those barriers and don't stay stuck there.
Now, let me ask you too. Well, I want to drop it here, guys, but I want to ask for you to tell them your website, even though the links and everything will be below so you guys can get it, but tell them the website and just a little bit about how to just simply enroll.
Simply enroll. So you go to www.shecanwork.org. So it's www.shecanwork.org. When you get there, you can explore our site, go to our course catalog and see all of the courses that we offer. But I'm going to tell you right now, it's not about the courses, it's about the community. So the courses to me are a little bit extra. What you're missing is what I just talked about. Those people who like, when you're like, oh no, I can't, you need those people who are like, you can, here's how. So you look at the lab courses, you'll see all the other things that are benefits for you when you enroll, and then you hit tuition plans. When you hit tuition plans, I am going to give you all a code. You can only get this coupon code in the show notes for this podcast episode, but I'm going to give you a coupon code. What it's going to do is give you 50% off, a whole 50% off that 420. So that annual membership is 420, where you get all access to our site. But I'm going to give you a 50% off coupon specifically for the listeners who are listening to us right now, be super preachy and telling you to take action
now.
So you'll have access to our entire site, all of our courses, both live and on demand, our entire community, all of the resources and templates, access directly to me, access directly to all of our instructors. You get all of that for $210 because I'm going to drop that coupon code for you. What I'm telling you all to do is take action. Like, this is it's here for you. It's open access, and we are starting a startup company, y'all, because I do want to build a large company, incorporate. I want to build it so big that it impacts the entire world, because I believe women change the world. So I'm not going to shy away from that. I want all of y'all to come sign up. But I want that because the financial power that is going to follow for women across this nation and across the world is about to be game changing. So be a part of that. Take action both for your family, but if that's not motivating you, honey, do it for the world, because we actually need you to do it. So www.shecanwork.org. You can go follow us on Instagram at shecanwork. And join, because I'm going to give you a coupon code in the show notes for 50% off. So I hope to see more people using that coupon code. When you use the coupon code, I'm going to reach out to you by email and be like, hey girl, hey, I know where you got this from. So I'll see you all in the community.
So guys, don't be shy. What's holding you back? Are you ready to move forward, or are you ready to stay idle? It's your choice. So until next time, I will see you guys in the next episode.